Let's assemble a 2D figure. 2D figure is designed to build quickly. Just glue two sides of it to each other and cut it out and fold its extremities. Only one thing before gluing the two sides to each other: cut out these pattern areas. Two reasons for this. One, we don't want the parts in these areas to glue to each other. For example, we don't want the front and back sides of the hand to be glued to each other because we will curve them separately and put an equipment in there. Two, it helps us to align the sides to each other correctly when we're gluing them to back. Now, if you will use a simple base and just want to glue the flaps on it, which is the quickest method of figure mounting, if not the best one, then you don't have to cut the pattern area which covers the feet flaps. But even in that case, I still recommend to cut them out beforehand because it helps with aligning. Enough talking, let's begin. Let's cut out the pattern areas. Okay, now let's cut the sheet on this line, and then we're gonna glue these two parts back to back. Okay. But before gluing the sides together, let's fold these parts we don't want to glue on each other slightly so they won't touch each other. Okay. Okay, like this. Great. Now it's time to glue them. I will glue the back of one side and then put the other side on top of it. Be careful not to apply any glue to the sides. You don't want to connect to the other side. Remember, just drop the part in place. At first, align it correctly and then press. Let's check it out. Yeah. Check both sides before pressing because on one side it might look correct, but on the other side might not correct actually. So check both sides before gluing. Alright, feet are okay. The hands are okay. So probably these are okay too. Let's, yeah, okay. Now let's press. Make sure it is flat and then let it dry for about 15 minutes before cutting out the pieces. In the meantime, let's cut out the base. Okay. This is not the best option when it comes to base, but it's the fastest. Just one piece of paper. The problem with this base is when you glue the flaps on it, it tends to detach eventually. So I always prefer inserting the flaps to the base, not just gluing them to it. But like I said, this is the fastest one. Also, I showed other options for base in a separate video, so you can look into that if you want a different option. Let's finish the scoring. It looks good. Okay, I think our figure sheet is dry, so we can start cutting it out. With this system, we're gonna cut the figure out only once instead of cutting out the front and back separately. Since our sheet is thicker, it will be a little bit harder to cut it out. That's the downside to the system. But if you're short in time, you have a quicker option. That's the point of the 2D figure. Great. See, Whatever you do, there's always some slight misalignment when you glue these two sides together. So even when you're doing a 2D figure, you can still cut the sheets separately. But this slight misalignment can easily be covered by scoring it. I'll do just that in a minute. Let's stick to one side of the sheet, preferably the front side when cutting the piece out. So at least one side will be perfectly accurate. Okay. Normally I have a small white line here which goes into the model a little bit so I can curve the arm better. For one reason it didn't come out and I printed it, so I will just cut through here anyway. But you should have a white line in your sheet visible. Okay, let's clean it up a little bit. Mhm. It looks okay on this side. Let's check the other side. Yeah, there are slight misalignments, but nothing big enough to worry about. Let's score it and we'll have a better picture of the result. Now when scoring these 2D figures, since we glue the sides together before scoring, we want the tip of the calligraphy pen right against it, not bent to one side or the other. What we are doing with a 2D figure is essentially sacrificing some of the perfection to get much quicker results. It takes more than 2 hours to assemble a 3D figure, while assembling a 2D figure takes just a little more than half an hour. You can quickly assemble a unit of 2D figures as placeholder to start playing right away and then gradually replace them with 3D figures, or you can just focus on assembling a bigger army of 2D figures. My aim is to provide you with more options. So this priest figure has a couple of equipments coming with it on the sheet, so let's do them quickly. Okay. By the way, 2D figure sheets have thicker borders to minimize the effect of the misalignment. Also, it has more streamlined curves and lines, so cutting them out can be slightly faster than the 3D parts. Okay, let's score these as well. Okay, now the book. I will also paint the back side of the ribbon, but I think, yeah, be careful not to paint the pages of the book. Mm, all right, let's curve the book as well. I'm gonna fold the book in the middle and curve the pages. So I will crease it in the middle to make it fold more precisely where I want it. Okay, yep. Now let's curve it a little. Yeah, this side as well. Let's see. Okay, looks good enough. A little bit more scoring. Okay, great. Okay, let's curve the figure to pose her. So we're gonna give the scepter to this hand. So we want this arm to be on the back a little. Hold from the elbow like this. Maybe curve the wrist a little. Okay. And I'm gonna extend this arm to the front and curve the wrist like this. So the book will be faced to her face. Let's give the face a little bit of a curve and then curve the wrist a little and the legs. So how about like this? Blue. Okay. Let's curve the waist to the other side actually. Maybe like this. Okay. Yeah. hmm Let's see it on the base. Okay. Now let's give her the equipment. In the meantime, as you can see, the lower arm didn't glue Let's open the hand. Apply some glue. And the scepter in there. Okay. This. Now the book. Okay, great. Put it in position like this. Let's apply some glue at the back of the ribbon so it will keep its position when dry. Okay, now we can glue the figure to the base. Oh, since we're gonna glue these flaps on top of the base, we need to score these as well because they're visible now. Let's fold them up like this. Mhm. Okay, apply glue here and put it on the base. Press a little bit with the tweezers so it will hold better, hopefully. You can clean up any excess with the toothpick. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Not that bad as a quick solution, I hope.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.